How you doing, guys? This is Ryan. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about whether or not I should cash out refinance my investment property and the concept of good debt versus bad debt. Now guys, if you're new to the channel, this channel is all about documenting my experience towards financial freedom. I make videos weekly about finance, investing, sales, business. If you like content like that, please make sure to hit the red subscribe channel button, give this video a thumbs up, and let's jump right into it. So what does it mean to cash out refinance your mortgage? Well, let me give you an example. Let's say my investment property is worth $300,000 and I owe $200,000 on the property. Well, the bank will allow me to borrow up to 80% of the value of the home. So do some quick math. The bank will let me borrow up to $240,000. They still want me to own 20% equity in the home, but they will give me that $40,000 at any time. So again, to cash out refinance, you restructure the loan. So instead of me owing the bank $200,000, I now owe them $240,000, and they give that money to me, and I have it paid back over time. You can restructure the loan, you can make it shorter, you can make it longer. It's pretty much an opportunity to restructure your loan and take cash out at the same time at no taxable consequence. And you could have a tenant pay that back for you. It does cost you something. You have to redo your closing costs, which will cost you 2 to 3%. A loan around this size, it'll cost around $5,000. But again, in this situation, the tenant will pay that $5,000 back, not necessarily I. Now guys, what's prompting this idea in my head to cash out refinance my investment property is, for some reason, in the Federal Reserve Bank, Powell seems likely to cut interest rates, which to me is kind of baffling, with the stock market at an all-time high and interest rates still very historically low, and also unemployment at, I believe, a 50-year low, they say, by certain metrics. So I'm really puzzled as to why rates are going to go lower, and it really has me thinking, should I access more capital at a cheap price? Now, some people say that the trade war and different things and different reasons is why the Federal Reserve wants to cut interest rates. I personally think this could be a little political, that the Federal Reserve may have some influence from the White House to kind of spike the economy going into an election season. And it seems like the market's already kind of pricing in and expecting an interest rate reduction. The stock market was rallying and making all-time highs. So it brings me to the question of, should I cash out refinance this property? And a tip for anyone that may not know this is that to cash out refinance an investment property versus your personal property is kind of different. To cash out refinance your personal property, you can get a lower interest rate than if it's your investment property. But now with rates falling even further, I can likely capture the same interest rate that I bought that house when it was my personal residence on that investment property and pull out $25,000 to $30,000 and not sacrifice any cash flow on the house. And the beautiful part is that that money I can take, that equity I can take out of the house, is not subjected to tax. And again, I'll say it again, I keep the same monthly cash flow. So I still make on that property $640 a month before maintenance and repair. And that's why when I do my calculation on an investment property, I do consider principal pay down to be a part of my return on investment. Some people disagree with me on that. I've had a couple people disagree, but I'm telling you, this is a real scenario where that is real cash now coming into my pocket. They are realized gains at this point. So something to consider if you don't see it that way. That money can come in my pocket. Now, some people may say, well, Ryan, now you're gonna have more debt and you're further away from paying off the house. And I personally don't care to pay off the house. My goal is not to aggressively pay down 3 to 4% interest. That's not my goal. My goal, if you watch some of my previous videos, is to have a net worth of $1 million in another 2.5 years, which I believe I'm gonna be able to do because of strategies like this, because I understand good debt from bad debt. So let's talk about good debt. Good debt is debt someone else is paying off for me, and I can even cash flow above it. Bad debt is when I borrow money to buy something that gives me no return and pay interest on that. And understanding the difference between the two can either make you very wealthy or very poor. So the two forms of debt I'm currently using to make me wealthier is real estate and credit card churning. So I've made videos about how credit cards made me over $6,000 last year. I just booked a flight to go visit my in-laws in New York for free by signing up for a credit card and meeting the minimum spend requirement. and paying off that bill. And all I did with the spend requirement, I paid bills I normally pay with. I only pay bills with credit cards, and I pay them off immediately because they pay me to do. That's good debt. Everyone doing, my wife actually just stopped by to say hi to me. Make sure to check out her channel. Make sure to check her channel, Jessica Giffen. I'll link it in the description below. No, this is my son Miles. Miles, say hello. Say hi. Hi. Now we have one on the way. We got one in the oven. So y'all just met my wife and son there. You can see we are driving a Ford Focus 2008 that I bought for $800. Just a side note, we used to drive $30,000 cars and up and everything like that. Looking rich is of no interest to me. I actually want to become rich. So this is one of our wealth building strategies, is that $800 cars, I fixed it up, I put some money into it. Let's say I'm all into it, $1,800, $2,000, but it's worth Kelly Blue Book $4,000, and I likely have to sell it to get into an SUV later on. But looking rich is of no interest to me. I really want to actually become rich. That car gets to A to B as well as our Audi TT did. So something to keep in mind. 30,000 versus 2,000. What do you really want in life? Do you want to look fancy, or do you want financial independence and freedom and be able to do the things that you love in your life and spend more time with those people? I'm sacrificing a lot of time and hours to work hard to make good income, to invest that money now, because I don't want to do it forever. Now, talking about bad debt is borrowing money to buy liabilities. Liabilities, something that's going to provide me no return. Once I spend my money on that, that money's gone, and God forbid spending interest on something that provides you no return. Now guys, this really isn't financial advice. I'm just sharing my experience, and it's just things to consider and entertainment. And please be careful with however you go into your investment decisions and taking on debt. Make sure you seek either professional help and take responsibility for your own investments. So I've already been in contact with some banks and pricing in the cash out refinance, and it seems like it's going to be able to work out. I closed on my mortgage on my new property July 26th, so I can't do anything until then, but it may just play out perfectly. We'll see the interest rate reduction go down, and I'll be able to refinance at a low rate. And again, I just want to kind of reiterate, I don't care to pay off my properties. I care for properties to make me money so I can invest elsewhere and grow my portfolio so I can generate more passive income and become financially free. That's what this channel is all about. This is not a becoming debt-free channel. It's strategically getting into good debt and having abundance in your life and getting out of the rat race. Now, some people may ask, Ryan, there's some cons to cash out refinancing, like I have to repay closing costs. Why not do a home equity line of credit? And I'll answer that like this. I do have a home equity line of credit on that property. I've never used the money from it. It's just extra liquidity if need be. But what I don't like about it is that it's variable rate interest, and the interest is more expensive than a mortgage. So when I mean variable rate, I mean that when rates go up, the cost of servicing that debt is going to go up. And then I still have to pay my original mortgage, then I'll have an extra payment on top of it. So what I really like is long-term, fixed rate, low interest debt. That's much more preferable, and I like cash flow. I like steady cash flow. I like cash flow $600 and up on my property. The new property I'm buying, I'll be able to cash flow over $600 on that as well. And with this money, I now have what's called opportunity, or opportunity cost. So I'll have even more liquidity to make my next investment. And I was gonna make a video about what my next investment is gonna be, and I'll probably make it in the next video or the next week or so, what my next investment after buying my real estate this year is gonna be. But now I have much more cash to do it. And what I really like about the cash out refinance is I can access the capital within the house at a fixed rate, and I can still hold on to my asset, to my income producing rental property, and I'll be able to enjoy the future appreciation of that property. That's the beauty of real estate, is being able to leverage expensive assets, homes that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And as I talked about in previous videos, is that you see about 3% on average over time appreciation on real estate. And it's the 3% is on the value of the home, not the amount of money you put down. So learning how to use debt is what I've heard some people call a wealth accelerator, and using it smart can make you lots of money. So I hope to borrow 20 to 30,000, not a crazy amount. I could take out more, but I don't want to sacrifice my cash flow. I just want to use that money to create even more cash flow. So say I cash out refinance 20 to 30,000, and that allows me to get another property or another asset that can produce me $600 a month. You see how the game works there? It's all about cash flow. And cash flow at the end of the month is what pays my bills and will allow me financial independence. And the cash flow so far for me as a landlord has been pretty passive. If you do all the right work going into it. If after you buy the property, you fix everything up and you know what the problems are and you take care of the problems right away, you don't let problems linger, it's a very beautiful thing. And a quick disclaimer, something I do, is when you're using debt and leverage, you have to make sure that you have reserves. That if something goes wrong, if you have vacancy or no matter what, if you're gonna use good debt, you have to be able to service that debt when things don't always go perfect. It's not a perfect world. So I hold cash as a reserve, and I also hold commodities that if the market were to go down, were to crash, these would go up in value and I could liquidate them at that time and cover any kind of turbulence in the market. Very important part of the strategy when using debt is that you must hold reserves to cover your costs. Very important tip, please do that. But apart from real estate, I am looking at a couple other investments. I want to get into kind of more techie space, disruptive technology things, which I'll talk about in future videos. But if you guys have made it this far, and if you guys do enjoy my content, if you could share it with friends. This is something I really enjoy doing, and I would like to make it a small income stream on my part to financial freedom, and it pretty much costs you nothing to subscribe. But YouTube wants you to get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours to monetize your channel, to put a couple little 15-second commercials on it, essentially. If you do enjoy my content, it would mean the world to me if you could share this with other people, have other people just tap that red subscribe channel button, and if they are interested in the content, to watch it. It is so super helpful, and just help me grow. It is greatly appreciated. Give this video a thumbs up, and also tap the notification bell so YouTube notifies you anytime I upload a video. And then you can also follow me on Instagram. I post there pretty much daily and see what I'm up to. I talk finance, share things in my personal life as well. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.